Hello. So today let us start with brain, the structure and its functions. Okay. So the brain consists about 1/5 of your body weight and lies within the cranial cavity. So cranium is the covering bone of your brain. So the parts in your brain are cerebrum, midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata and cerebellum. Okay. So your midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata together it is called as brain stem. Okay. So a brain receives about nearly 15% of your cardiac output. So approximately nearly 750 ml of blood per minute. Okay. So autoregulation keeps blood flow to the brain constant by adjusting the diameter of the arteriole. So our body's own autoregulation process will control the or adjust the blood entry inside your body. So this is the structure of your brain. So showing different parts. So your cerebrum, midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, cerebellum and spinal cord. Okay. So coming to cerebrum. So this is the largest part of your brain and it can occupies near anterior middle cranial fossa. Okay. So it is divided by the deep cleft and longitudinal cerebral fissures into right and left cerebral hemispheres. So each containing one of the lateral ventricles. Okay. So your brain is divided into equal halves by cerebral fissures into two hemispheres, right side hemisphere and left side hemisphere. Okay. So each hemisphere will contain one ventricles, that is right and left lateral ventricles. So deep within the brain, the hemispheres are connected to mass of white matter nerve fibers called as corpus callosum. So inside your cerebral hemispheres you are containing the white matter which is nerve fibers which is called as corpus callosum. So the falx cerebri it is formed by the dura mater. So dura mater which forms or invade into the two cerebral hemispheres. Okay. So it is called as falx cerebri. So it separates the two hemispheres and penetrates the depth of the corpus callosum. So up to corpus callosum this falx cerebri will be invaded. So the superficial peripheral part of the cerebrum is composed of nerve cell bodies or gray matter. Okay. So here you should be clear of two things. One is gray matter and another is white matter. Okay. So gray matter is nothing but the neuron cell bodies. Okay. Alone the connection of this neuron cell bodies alone it is called as gray matter, and the fibers, the dendrites and axons together collection it is called as white matter. Okay. So in your brain the outer thing will be gray matter and inside it will be white matter, where in your spinal cord it will be completely reversed. So the outer layer it consists of white matter and the inner layer it consists of gray matter. Okay. So it will be totally opposed. So the superficial part of the cerebellum is composed of nerve cell bodies or gray matter forming the cerebral cortex, and the deeper layers consist of nerve fibers or white matter. Okay. So the cerebral cortex shows many infoldings and furrows of varying depth. Okay. So in your cerebral cortex area, so there will be lot of ridges. Okay. So the exposed areas of the folds are gyri and or convulsions, and these are separated by sulci or fissures. Okay. So there will be fold, numerous fold. So the exposed part is, it is called as gyri, and the innermost part it is called as sulci or fissures. So these convulsions greatly increases the surface area of your cerebrum. Okay. Why these convulsions are there means to increase the surface area of our brain. So for descriptive purpose, the each hemisphere of the cerebrum is divided into further small lobes. So they are where the bones they are located. So frontal lobes, parietal, temporal and occipital. Okay. So the boundaries of the lobes are marked by deep sulci. So there the fissures will be very deep. So the central and lateral and parieto-occipital sulci. Okay. So coming to interior of the cerebrum, the surface of the cerebral cortex is composed of gray matter as we have discussed already. So the nerve cell bodies alone. Okay. So within the cerebrum, the lobes are connected by mass of nerve fibers or tracts which make up the white matter of the brain. Okay. So the afferent and efferent fibers linking the different part of the brain and spinal cord, or what are those means? Three fibers are there: association fibers, commissural fibers and projection fibers. So association fibers connect the different parts of the cerebral hemisphere by extending from one gyrus to another, and some which adjacent or some other distant. So these association fibers will mainly connect the gyri. Next, commissural fibers connect the corresponding areas of the two cerebral hemispheres, and largest and the most important is corpus callosum. Okay, they will connect the cerebral hemispheres. Projection fibers connect the cerebral cortex with the gray matter of the lower parts of the brain and spinal cord, that is internal capsule. Okay. So internal capsule is a structure, an important area consisting of projection fibers. It lies deep within the brain between the basal ganglia and the thalamus. Okay. So many nerves impulses passing to and fro from the cerebral cortex are carried by the fibers that form the internal capsules. So motor fibers within the internal capsule form the pyramidal tract that cross over at the medulla oblongata. Okay. So this is very important. Sorry. which is called as crossing over. So where the nerve tracks from the cerebral hemispheres will be crossover at the medulla oblongata. Okay, so that your right side and left side will be altered. So because of this crossing over only, so your left side will control the left side of your brain will control the right side of the body, and right side of the brain will control the left side of the body. Okay, so this is the structure showing various parts. So the first diagram which shows the sulcus and gyri, and the second which shows the lobes of the brain, and the third, the lower one, which shows the internal structures, that is your corpus callosum, thalami, basal nuclei, etc. Okay, we just go to it. So next, deep within the cerebral hemispheres are the group of cell bodies called as nuclei, which act as a relay stations where the impulses are passed from one neuron to the next in a chain. So the important masses of grey matter are, so within your cerebral hemispheres, inside the white matter will be present. So within that white matter there are patches of grey matter, which is called as nuclei. So what are all the structures present means mainly basal ganglia, thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, so basal ganglia are the scattered masses of grey matter submerged in the subcortical substances of the cerebral hemisphere. So basal ganglia form the part of the extrapyramidal symptoms. Okay, so extrapyramidal symptoms are nothing but they are causing the involuntary movements and actions. Okay, which is concerned with motor activities. So basal ganglia include the three primary components. What are they means? Corpus striatum, substantia nigra, and subthalamic nucleus of the lice. So corpus striatum. So corpus striatum is a mass of grey matter situated at the base of the cerebral hemispheres in the close relation to thalamus. So corpus striatum is incompletely divided into two parts by internal capsule as caudate nucleus and lenticular nucleus. Next is the substantia nigra. Substantia nigra is situated below the red nucleus. So red nucleus is nothing but a paired oval shaped midline structure that appears as a bright red because due to accumulation of hemoglobin. So it is made up of large pigmented and small non-pigmental cells. So the pigments contain high quantity of iron. Okay, so hence the color is red in color. So subthalamic nucleus of lice. So the subthalamic nucleus is situated lateral to the red nucleus and dorsal to the substantia nigra. Next is the thalamus. So thalamus consists of two masses of nerve cell and fibers situated within the cerebral hemispheres just below the corpus callosum, one on each side of the third ventricle. So sensory input from the skin, viscera, that is important organ, and special sense organs is transmitted to the thalamus before redistributed to the cerebrum. Okay, so mainly the sense impulses from the skin, and viscera means the important organs in your body, and special sense organs, that is your eyes, nose, etc. will be transmitted to the thalamus only before entering or redistributed to the cerebrum. So hypothalamus, it is composed of number of group of nerve cells. So it is situated below and in front of the thalamus, immediately above the pituitary gland. So this is nearer to the pituitary gland. So hypothalamus is linked to the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland by nerve fibers, and anterior lobes by the complex system of your blood vessels. Okay, so through these connections the hypothalamus controls the output of the hormones from both lobes of the gland. So this hypothalamus is mainly concerned with the alteration of the secretion of the pituitary glands. Okay, so other functions which are concerned with the hypothalamus are it controls your autonomic nervous system, our body's involuntary control. Next, appetite and satiety value. Appetite means hunger feeling, and satiety means a feeling of satisfaction. Okay, so this hypothalamus is highly related with your body weight. Okay, so this hypothalamus will control the appetite and satiety. So appetite is a hunger, and satiety is a satisfactory thing, that after having a food you should have a satisfaction, otherwise we will feel we have to eat something. Okay, so this is controlled by your hypothalamus. Next is the thirst and water balance, body temperature, emotional reactions like pleasure, fear, etc. Next, sexual behaviors including mating and child rearing. Okay, so child rearing means bringing up the young ones. Then biological clocks are circadian rhythms. So that is nothing but, so automatically a particular time, so day and night cycle. So we will feel sleepy, we will feel brisk. So that is everything is controlled by the hypothalamus. It is called as biological clock or circadian rhythm. Okay, that is sleep waking cycles, body temperature, and secretion of other hormones. Okay, coming to functions of your cerebrum. So this cerebrum is mainly involved in three varieties of activities associated with the cerebral cortex. So cortex is the learning, that is your high interpretation center, that is the information whatever you are getting to your brain, it will be interpreted there. So there is the area of intelligence. So mental activities involved in memory, intelligence, sense of responsibility, thinking, reasoning, moral sense, and learning. So everything are related to your higher centers, that is your cerebral cortex. Next, sensory perceptions including perception of pain, temperature, touch, sight, hearing, taste and smell. So everything is related to your cerebral cortex. And initiation and control of the skeletal muscle, that is voluntary action. It is also the function of the cerebral cortex. Okay, so this is how your cerebrum is highly sensitive and it is highly complex area in your brain. Okay, so remaining we can see in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.